Mic check 1 2 1 2, and we are live. Man, it feels good to be back in another solo episode. LL. Lots been going on, man. A lot has been happening. I'm very grateful for all the support as always, as I always say right before I start an episode. I got to share out a little bit before I get the final episode started. I just want to thank everybody, man, for always coming out, always supporting. I'm really grateful. I don't know where Tick would be without all the fans that have supported us through all our transitions from, being a Xbox only podcast. Well, we still an Xbox, at least Tick Podcast is still a, Xbox only podcast, but from being just an Xbox podcast to expanding out and trying to, grow ourselves and reach a bigger audience and bringing in multiple podcasts all on one channel and converting a website to try to reach all gamers and stuff like that. And, the great thing about the Xbox community is, I've had some backlash. I've had a few people say, don't do this, or why are you doing this? Or, I hope you're not flip-flopping like so-and-so and so. And, it comes with the territory because Xbox gamers are passionate. So I completely get that. I understand that. But the one thing that I'll say is that the people that support us have been absolutely supportive in everything that we've done or have tried to do to not only entertain, but also try to bring, interviews and developers and executives. And I know some people appreciate that. We might not have the largest audience out there or the biggest install base out there as far as YouTube is concerned, but the people that are here that show up every week in, week out, truly appreciate it. For that, I'm humbly grateful and thank you. So listen, man, this is the final episode of Super Podshots. And I know that's kind of crazy. Give me 1 second because I'm going to hop in the chat on my phone so that way I don't lag behind. I'm going to hop in the chat and then we'll get the show started. But yes, this is the final episode of Super Podshots. And I know a lot of people's like, why? Like, we love Super Podshots. I've seen some people say that. And that's, nobody wants Super Podshots to go away. But here's the thing, man. We built this channel, the team and I, we built this channel on gaming. We built this channel on, truly trying to represent the Xbox community in a positive way, trying to represent video game media in a positive way, try to bring you the best information, factual, try to bring you the best rumors to as close as what we heard, and try to bring you information that isn't just something we made up. A lot of people out there make stuff up just for hits. A lot of people out there start drama just for hits. So, we try to do those things. And, as we grow, and we've been growing, and we've been expanding and adding new teams and adding new talent and stuff like that, I find Super Podshots to be not obsolete, but it becomes crowded, especially in the things that I want to do. I'm a big time gamer. I'm a writer. I love watching anime. I'm really big into movies and comics and all of that stuff. And there's a lot of things that I just can't do on this channel. There's a lot of things that I want to do that I just can't do. There's a lot of things that I want to discuss that I just can't do because the audience for it isn't exactly here. And there's no disrespect to the people that support, but there's a lot of fans out there that may not want to hear me talk about what I watched this week, on Crunchyroll, or my opinions on the latest, Dragon Ball Super, or, the latest movie I've seen on Netflix, or my thoughts on this game or that game and whatever. So I am going to be creating a new singular channel based around my persona of, Kal-El, and it's going to be called The Last Sun Network. And of course, it still will be TIC affiliated. A lot of that content you'll be able to still get. It's going to replace Super Podshots. Cast will be replaced with The Last Sun on Planet Xbox. And the first episode will be sometime in February. So you'll get that replacing Super Podshots sometime in February. That will also replace it on in the MP3 crowd as well. So guys out there that listen via iTunes, via Google, and stuff like that, you'll be able to still catch me chatting it up, talking about gaming, get my opinions and thoughts and stuff like that on Xbox and the industry, on iTunes and Google Play and all these other apps and stuff, as well as on my own individual channel, the Last Sun Network, which should be dropping sometime mid-February. Got a lot of people working on some stuff, images, logos, all types of cool things. The show's going to focus around video games. I'm going to be streaming a lot. I'm building a PC so I can stream from Xbox live to YouTube, because Xbox doesn't have a YouTube streaming thing, which they really should have one. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of anime content. I'll do like little videos, nothing major, but little pre-recorded videos about my top 5 animes for the month, top 5 themes, characters, shows you should watch, previews, stuff like that. I'll be doing quick shots of movie reviews, things that I watch on Netflix, things that I go to the movies for, little videos here and there, whatever, of content. And of course, my video game content and Xbox content with a weekly podcast. All of that will be on that channel. And I will have plenty of guests. And that's how I plan to focus around that. Definitely going to be trying to do the same thing I did at Tick, in a way where I'm still going to reach out for different guests, but I'm going to be doing it double time, both for The Last Sun and for Tick Podcast. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing there. So I don't know what happened here. For some reason, I couldn't get into the thing, but I'm going to go ahead and get the show started, because I don't want to ramble on too much. I just want to get in here and share it out to a few people. Try to get in this chat if I can. Okay, what is happening here? Sorry for the dead silence, guys. I didn't mean to have dead silence on the channel. I'm trying to get to my videos, but it's not. For some apparent reason, it's not letting me in. Whatever. I'll go through Twitter and get it. All right. So listen, we're going to start the show. I got a bunch of things I want to talk about on the final episode. I want to try to answer a few questions for some people. Say my goodbyes, at least for this particular show. And see you guys again in February with some new content, a new way to do it. I'm going to be trying to show myself and have green screen and all these cool things that the kids do today. That's a lot of the things that I'm working on. I'm really just trying to improve the quality of the content that we're putting out and that I'm trying to put out, man. I'm trying not to be just using the voice only, and I want people to see my expressions and hear my thoughts and see my responses and things like that. It's making more interactive, and hopefully fans will enjoy that. Let's see here. Okay. Don't know what happened, but whatever. All right, so let's begin the show. You are now rocking with your boy KLR XKL, the last son of Planet Xbox, and you're listening to Super Podshots. Oh man, listen, Microsoft has finally got something right. For the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about all the rumors we've been hearing, everything we've heard from Microsoft, everything we've been hearing coming out of Xbox. We've been seeing moves being made. People haven't really, Microsoft hasn't confirmed anything. So, Xbox fans a little bit worried. You got to think about last year. A lot of games were lost. A lot of people feel a little bit insecure about Xbox and its direction, and what the future holds. I've been seeing a lot of like little opinionated pieces from different news outlets about, Microsoft has to bring the exclusives. What can Microsoft do this year to survive against PlayStation and Nintendo Switch? Is this Xbox's last console? Et cetera, et cetera. The same negativity, the same negative things that we always see, ironically. And I find it funny because the latest one that I saw, which was the one about, is this Xbox's last console? And I'm sitting here saying, like, they literally just dropped a new console 2 months ago. Who is writing the content for these websites? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You want clicks, I get it. I got you. You know what I'm saying? But let's just keep it real for 1 second, man. Like, you just can't sit up there and just negate everything that Microsoft's been trying to do the last couple of months, like just completely ignore what they've been trying to do the last couple of months. You see them making an effort. You see the fight in the dog is still there. So with the news finally coming out from Digital Foundry that they've had a conversation with an X-Line head dev, and they've been in talks with the guys over at Playground because of Forza Horizon, they've pretty much confirmed after talking with devs from Forza Horizon that they are indeed working on a new Fable. And that is huge news if you're an Xbox fan. It's huge news for multiple reasons. And I'll explain why. Well, first of all, it's huge news for the simple fact that Fable's not dead. It's not another IP that we'll never see again. Microsoft has a ton of IPs that we're constantly asking for, and for them to reboot, remake, bring back, and we never get it. Nobody asked for Voodoo Vince, and yet we still got it. Honestly, nobody asked for Phantom Dust. We got that too. But at the end of the day, Microsoft does have a large library of IPs that they could use, and they seem kind of reluctant to do that. But it seems like these things are starting to change, and I feel like that is huge. I think it's definitely late in a generation, but it's not late in the direction for Microsoft and Xbox, because this, again, isn't a sprint. This is a marathon. We're talking about generations here, people. We're not just talking about one and done. We're not just talking about, you'll never see after this generation. Microsoft is going to have a long time in the gaming industry, just like PlayStation has, just like Nintendo has. They seem to have built an amazing fan base of people who are supportive. People are constantly going out there to buy their platform or their consoles. So obviously they've done something right. They've done something right to keep the fans going, even when they don't have the exclusives, even when the exclusives may not be up to par. They've done something right to keep the fans going and coming back. You're talking about 35, 40, maybe 40 or more million, which I believe it is. I know some people think it's a lot less than that, but I believe it's over 40 million. And we don't have definite numbers yet. And I don't think we will, being that Microsoft moved away from it. But I believe that it is somewhere around 40 or more. But that being said, though, listen, Fable's huge. And it's a big deal. One, because, again, like I said, Fable IP isn't dead. Two, it's because it's being done by the Playground developers, and it's basically being co-signed by Microsoft. And what I mean by that is, if you read the Digital Foundry interview and what they kind of talked about, or kind of like what they discovered, it's kind of plain as day to see where these guys are trying to go with their content as far as building a new Fable. And they've already went out and hired 200 devs. 200 developers. That's not something Playground probably could do on their own. That's a Microsoft move. And I truly believe that probably at E3, we'll get an announcement that Playground is a second-party studio, or if not a first-party studio. Whatever they are, there's something big right now for Microsoft. So I kind of feel like they need to, hopefully Microsoft purchases them, because we all know they need more first party. I feel like they need to purchase MDHR, the guys who make Cuphead. I feel like they need to purchase Moon Studios, the guys who make Ori. I think that's really important. If the opportunity presents itself, you gotta hop on it. It's the same thing that I talked about last year with Obsidian. A lot of people don't look at Obsidian like the the studio that it may have been back in the early 2000s or whatever, but they've done some pretty solid stuff on PC over the last couple of years. And it's a studio that I think, if given the opportunity in the budget by Microsoft, could really do something special on the Xbox platform. And they're willing to be purchased. We've had an entire article on Obsidian willing to be purchased. And if Microsoft was to reach out to them and wanted to pick them up, at a reasonable price, if it doesn't get too crazy or too out of control, I think that would be a great studio to pick up. You add Playground to that, you add Moon, you add MDHR. Listen, I think those 4 studios alone are better than the studios they've released. If you really think about it, talking about Twisted Pixel, talking about what's the name of that studio? Not something play. Gosh, I always forget the name of the studio. The guys who made Matt's Curse of Brotherhood. I can't remember right now. I don't want to be stuck on it, but you have an opportunity here to bring in some studios and add them to your roster, which is what you wanted to do, is what you talked about doing. And being that it's presented itself, you gotta hop on it. You can't sit there and just let this ride by. So if Playground is open to being purchased, then do it. I don't know if they're hiring people and going to build a sub studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they're going to just hire these people temporarily, but I do know that they've hired 200 people to work on this game while they're also working on Forza Horizon 4, which we should be getting at the end of the year. So the great thing about this is that Fable sounds like it's going to be a massive, massive open world game. This is the number one thing that kind of caught my attention when they started talking about the game. Big AAA budget title. And no disrespect to Fable. Okay. I like Fable 2. I didn't play Fable 1 and I hated Fable 3. Fable 2 obviously is my favorite. Peter Molyneux has always been an ambitious type of developer. He's always talked more than what the game actually presented. And for that, I think that it damaged the appeal of Fable in a certain instance. So Fable, in my opinion, never sort of like lived up to the hype of what it could have been next to Halo and Gears of War or the Forza series. Like, it should have been in what Microsoft is doing, but they never got that formula right. Like, you had a hit with the first one, you had a solid game with the second, a flop with the third, then you came out with a Connect game, and then you tried to do a MOBA. It literally killed the franchise. It literally just killed the franchise. It really, really did. That being said, I was reading up on it, and one of the developers from Lionhead, the next developer from Lionhead, said something that I found a little bit, I won't say ironic, but I found it kind of funny, because he's like, it's like a double-edged sword in a way. It's like, he's happy to see Fable being picked up by a talented studio like Playground Games and seeing them getting an opportunity to work on the game. Microsoft did retain the assets from the Fable Legends, but he tried to make a point that, but it's weird because you don't have the Fable team working on a game that understands what Fable is, the quirkiness of it, the jokes, the sort of British lore and the British comedy of it that kind of made it its own identity. You don't really have the people for that. Now, these guys at Playground are from the UK. They're basically in the same area that Lionhead used to be. And that's great. So I'm sure they'll understand it. They'll get it. And I think there's no better studio to do it than this British studio. I mean, obviously, why would you hand it off to somebody who doesn't understand what Fable is? That's exactly what it is. It is everything that's great about the UK and UK humor, as well as being a great RPG in itself, or attempting to be a great RPG. So when I look at what they're trying to do, they then turn around and say, well, it sounds like Playground's going to take this thing on their own, and they're starting from scratch. So they're not trying to revamp Fable. They're not trying to take the assets from Fable Legends. They're going to actually rebuild this game from the bottom up. And I don't know what the art direction is going to be. I don't know what the gameplay is going to be like. All I know is that I think this is probably the best thing they could possibly do, starting from scratch. You know what I'm saying? I think you end it at Fable 3. You don't even try to attempt Fable 4. You make a new Fable game, and you just put it out as Fable. And, I'm not saying you have to go into the same direction, the art direction that Fable used to be. If you want to go a little bit darker, if you want to go a little bit more mature, I don't mind that. A lot of people feel like they need to keep that humor that was a part of the game. And for me, I never found it funny. And that's because I'm a dumb American. I never found the crude humor, the farts, the kickings of the chickens. I never found it funny. You know what I found funny? Having kids and then abandoning them in a house with the wife that I just married. You know what I'm saying? Well, those type of things. Or taking the wife upstairs and killing her and then leaving the kids homeless in the house with like nobody there to take care of them. Just like I found that funny because you could do those things in like Fable 2 and stuff like that. But I never found the actual British humor that funny. I thought it was quirky, but nothing that had me cracking up. So for me, I would really hope that they actually try to, I guess you could say, go not in a different direction, maybe keep the soul of the game, but really try to create something bigger than what Fable ever was. We've heard about someone at Microsoft trying to hire somebody to make environments similar or on a scale of Horizon Zero Dawn. They talked about how they want the game to be a character-driven, story-driven game. And when I hear those things, I think about what Fable was trying. I think Fable lost between Fable 1 and the sequels. Fable 1, from what I've heard and what people talk about, a lot of people love Fable 1 because of Jack, and the cast between the brother, the sister, and the torment that they had to go through. And that was a very appealing plot because it gave you a sense of vengeance and it gave you a sense of the choices that you made really have impact. As they moved on to the sequels, it kind of stepped away from that storyline and really just made you a guy that was trying to stop a villain. You really didn't have a history. It just felt like you made some decisions. Some decisions were impactful. Some really weren't. None more impactful than in Fable 3. But I just found Fable 3 just like terrible. It was extremely short. I didn't like the directions that you had as King. Like I just didn't like Fable 3 at all. It was kind of disappointing. So what I would want them to do going forward is if they do exactly what they say they're going to do based on what these guys were talking about, I would hope that they focus on, the character's story. Give the guy a voice. Give us all the same character. We don't have to create a character. You know what I'm saying? Truly make it a single player experience. Don't make it something like, this is going to be the next character and everybody plays, or let's put 4-player co-op in the game. Go all out. Make it a single player experience. Make it something that we all can enjoy. Take your time with it. Give it great atmosphere, big open world, lots of enemies, lots of different things you have to deal with. Great lore. Make it a little bit more scary with the Wolverines and stuff like that. And then, you still have skeletons. There's magic. There's a lot of things happening in this game. Take some cues from Witcher. Take some cues from Horizon Zero Dawn if you have to, and then still keep it functioning like Fable. Make sure that the combat is more evolved and more advanced than what it used to be. And I really think that if they're able to achieve that, they'll have something special. Because Microsoft doesn't have that at all. This is what they don't have this generation. They don't have an exclusive RPG. Now, I would love for them to make something new. I really would. But right now, I think they're trying to play it safe, revamp, and start looking at new IP and going into their bag of IP to either reboot or recreate some of their old games. So, that's my thoughts, man, on Fable. I really hope that it turns out to be something special. I hope it turns out to be something good. It is something that I think Microsoft really needs. And I really, really hope that it turns out to be a hit because they need one. They need a big hit going forward. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, we're going to move on. So Microsoft has been making a lot of moves, shaking up some stuff over at their studios. We've heard about the coalition working on something. I just spoke about Playground. We've heard about Studio Gobo and Electric Square working on some stuff. But the great thing that they've done is they've promoted somebody to the head of Microsoft Studios. And his name is Matt Booty. And it's just funny, man, because Matt Booty, my understanding is how it's pronounced, not Booty, but Booty. The cool thing about it is the simple fact that I didn't realize that nobody had taken Phil's job all this time. I truly thought that I definitely didn't, I guess, look at her title, but I thought that Shannon Loftus had took his position. But that's not actually the position that he had taken. That she had taken, excuse me. That position was vacant. Phil was doing both jobs. Phil was head of Microsoft Studios and the head of Xbox at the same time. Meanwhile, Shannon Loftus was actually dealing with third parties and working with third parties at Microsoft Studios and kind of like, working in joint deals like the Sunset Overdrives and the Play and the Super Lucky Tales, like those third party games that come over that are exclusive to the platform that aren't under first party. That's who she's been working with. That's why she's so adamant when it comes to games like Recore. And she kind of went at I forget his name, the guy from Unlocked. I can't believe I'm terrible with names. I don't know why I can remember the guy's name. I'm going blank. I'm getting old. But that's the reason why she went at dude from Podcast Unlocked when he tried to downplay Recore. Because she just felt like, oh, Ryan McCaffrey, there you go. So yeah, she kind of went at Ryan McCaffrey because he kind of downplayed Recore, saying that it really wasn't that good of a game. Well, no, not Recore, it was Super Lucky Tail. Super Lucky Tail wasn't that good of a game, and yada yada yada. And she kind of felt offended at that and tried to discourage him from putting that out there and just letting people just play the game and experience it for themselves instead of like scaring and shunning people away. So what wound up happening was, obviously, she felt a little spooked about that. People didn't like the fact of some of the things that Microsoft had done over the last couple of months. And because of that one instance, she just felt like she couldn't do any more interviews. A lot of fans got on her. I remember talking to her about it personally. A lot of fans got on her and it kind of pushed her away. Now you have somebody in control of first party, real first party. Got in control of the coalition, in control of 343 Studios, and in control of Forza. Somebody that's going to find studios that are developing games and bring those studios in, or create studios with the people that they have, or hire new people. Yeah, sorry about that. So it's just one of those things, man, where it's like you have somebody finally coming in that's going to represent in a way that I think Xbox fans truly want to see. So with Matt Booty, he's going to be handling budgets. He's going to be handling, when these games are going to be releasing. I think that's really important. That takes a load off of Phil's shoulders, as Phil runs the entire gaming department. And it just tells you how Microsoft has really flipped the script and committed to gaming. A lot of people always felt like Microsoft was going to sell the Xbox division because, the board had felt some type of way because of the 360 era and everything they lost within the 360 era with the Red Ring of Death. Understand, Red Ring of Death was a money pit for them. You You think about every console that died, how many times it died, how many times it had to be replaced for free because of a rushed, botched job by them. And then at some point that impacts your budget. That's going to impact what you purchase and what you buy. The first 3 years of Xbox was hot. First 3-4 years of Xbox is hot. The last 3 or 4 years of 360 sort of just faded. Mostly just repeats and sequels. I think the newest game that they came out with was like Forza Horizon. The game was coming out at the time, so that didn't blow me away at all. Meanwhile, PlayStation started out slow for the first 3 or 4 years, and they picked up the last 3 or 4 years with a plethora of IPs and exclusives that really kind of got their foot back in the game. So it kind of just shows you how dark or how inept Microsoft had been for the first couple of years at the tail end of the 360. They had invested $1 billion in games like Rise and Quantum Break and Sunset Overdrive and the Forza series and the Halo series and the Gears reboot, remasters, and then the Gears games. There's a lot that was invested. That's $1 billion. I literally just saw someone post that. What game was it? I think it was it The Evil Within? I think it was The Evil Within. Or some game was recently had an estimated budget of $30 million. $30 million to make a game. $30 million. That's a lot to make a game. And it wasn't even like some major title. It was just like, a third-party IP. That's probably like a sequel or something like that. $30 million. That's a lot of bread, bro. And if you don't make a return on that investment, if you don't make a return on that, then you're up S Creek. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you see these studios closing down. You're seeing IPs being sold off to other companies. You see microtransactions and everything because it costs so much to make games. The price of games have not gone up. People hate microtransactions, but guess what? People hate spending big money. Imagine buying a game you thought was going to be hot for $100, and then the game is trash, and you just spent $100. You'd be absolutely distraught. You'd be distraught. You'd be so pissed off. So I'm not condoning microtransactions if they're done well, but I understand why these developers put microtransactions in their games. Like I get it. Like I understand it completely. Yes, there you go. Detroit. There you go. Detroit was $30 million, not The Evil Within. I don't know why The Evil Within popped in my head, but Detroit was $30 million. So, listen, in that game, you barely do anything in that game. That game is like Walking Simulator 2000. You know what I'm saying? I played that game at E3. We all know how those games are played, coming out of that studio and stuff like that. Those are really story-driven games. So it's just funny that game by itself cost $30 million to make. $30 million. And you probably just really, it's just basically, touch and go. Touch and go. Make some selections, make some choices, and move. Go left here, press right here. You know what I'm saying? Quick time event there. That's your game. Those are the type of games that, Quantic Dreams make. So it's just crazy. But listen, you got somebody now that can invest. Microsoft is willing to invest. Microsoft is committed. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that now, mid-generation. Nobody wants to hear that, obviously. But it's better late than sorry. It's better now than never. Okay. 2017, terrible year. 2018, a much, much better year. 2019, an even better year. Because now you're talking about games that were in production in late 2016 or 2017, dropping in 2019. We've been hearing about coming out in 2019. I know Fable's not coming out anytime soon. Fable probably won't drop to like 2020. Right around when a new Xbox comes out, right? 2021 is when I think it comes out. But keep in mind that I think the game will still work on the Xbox One X. That's the goal. Xbox One X will become the Xbox One S, and the next Xbox is just going to be another monstrous console that does monstrous numbers. So having this guy puts them in a position where now I think they have good leadership. They have a stable leadership and they have somebody that is well liked by people at Microsoft and around the industry. The guy used to run Minecraft. You look at what he's done with that franchise and what he could possibly do with other franchises. And I think it's a good look for them. I think Microsoft has done a great job when it comes to leadership and putting people in the right position to get them in a place where they can revamp their studios, they can revamp their image to really get the ball rolling. You got the Xbox One X out right now. A lot of people like it. You see the games being enhanced on Digital Foundry, and you just have an opportunity now to just drop games. Focus on games. We know your direction going forward. We know your foundation going forward, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your foundation going forward is Xbox Live as a service. We understand that. We all know that. Xbox Live is the foundation. Everybody's paying $59, $29, $30 a year for an Xbox Live sub. You're buying crap off of there. You're buying games. You're getting games on sale, deals with gold. You download free games. You're watching movies. If you're listening to music, more power to you. You downloaded apps. People paying $14.99 for that Dolby Atmos. I know I did. They got my money because Dolby Atmos is hot. If you don't have Dolby Atmos, get Dolby Atmos. It works on any headset. Any surround sound headset you can get, it works. It is absolutely amazing. I can never go back to just basic surround sound going forward. I need that 3D surround sound. It's absolutely stunning. But with that being said, man, you have to look at it from a perspective that they have that foundation. Now you have the hardware. You know, people love the hardware. And there's no reason why they should come out with a mid-gen type console again. Like, there's no reason why people they should think that they don't need the most powerful console to put out games. I know most people will say you don't need the most powerful console to put games out. You know, to play games. It's all about the games. I get that 100%. I want to rebut that and say Microsoft does. Microsoft absolutely needs to have the most powerful hardware to stay relevant. And a lot of people may disagree with me. And I'll explain to you why they need the most powerful hardware. Relevant around the rest of the world. They're just not. Let's just keep it 100. They're relevant in probably, your top tier countries, your first world countries. But when it comes to those second world countries that might not have big internet and may be too slow to game, they may be lagging out. They may not even have internet at all. Sony dominates because they have a plethora. And Nintendo dominates because they have a plethora of platformers and single player experiences in RPGs, but you don't need online at all. Meanwhile, Xbox Live, and Microsoft, they really focus on online. They focus on playing together. They focus on co-op. They focus on multiplayer. That's their strength. That's just the reality of it. And if you live in a country and you understand what Microsoft is delivering, and your country doesn't supply you with that type of access, you don't get that console. Now, if you don't have access to these countries where PlayStation is selling, in some countries where Xbox doesn't even exist, right? I mean, then now coming over to your country and coming into those top territories as well and putting out their console, and they have the most powerful console on that, and on top of that, you're at a huge disadvantage. Not just for your games and the quality of your games, but that if somebody's going to buy a third-party game, it gives them even more incentive to buy it on PlayStation. If Microsoft has that advantage, it helps them. Because now you say, hey, I can pick up my exclusives on PlayStation and I can get all my third-party games on Xbox. And if Microsoft is able to somehow get their stable of first-party games together and really start pumping out that type of content, both single-player and multiplayer at a high-quality level like they used to do, then now you have a true monster on your hands and you can really make some noise and impress people that may not have been impressed the first time around. For hardware, and now you got a plethora of first-party games. And that helps you as far as your install base and as far as brand recognition. So in the countries that you don't sell and the countries that aren't picking up your console because of what you produce, you'll get the extra people in the countries where you do sell because you have the most powerful hardware, and people always want the best. At some point, people always want the best. And that's great. You can see that by the numbers with PUBG. You can see that by the numbers with what the Xbox One X did this past holiday in December. So they've done a great job. And I think that's really important for them going forward. So all they have to do is create a few more studios, lock up a few IPs, maybe lock up some of these second-party studios they're already working with. Again, they got a ton of indie games dropping this year, third-party deals dropping this year. I don't know what they have exclusively that's going to knock people's socks off. I'm looking forward to Sea of Thieves. I'm looking forward to Forza Horizon 4, whatever that drops. I didn't play State of Decay. I got to play it to see if I can get into it. I never liked Crackdown. I'm just going to keep it real. I just never liked Crackdown. I think Crackdown's a fun game. It has potential, but I'm not a mayhem guy. It's just not my thing. Some people like Crackdown, and more power to you. I hope it's supported, and I hope it sells extremely well. I would rather them change it into something else, but that's just my opinion. If Microsoft is able to get a Fable out, get a Perfect Dark out, produce a new IP. I heard they're working on some type of mech game. If they're bringing back Mech Assault or somehow getting their Mech Warrior franchise on the ground and running, getting that license back, then they got some stuff. It's not like they don't have IPs. I keep saying this over and over and over again. If you go look at Microsoft's history, look at the IPs they own hundreds of games. Platformers out the wazoo just because of Rare alone. And we have not gotten those games. And it tells you people want those games. People tell you all the time, we want those games. So hopefully Microsoft starts producing these games and they start producing them fast. Because if they're able to get their roster going, come next gen, when their next console comes out, they'll be in a spotlight. They'll have some big motivations going forward. And that's good for them. That's definitely good for them. Phil's committed. He is absolutely committed. Satya Nadella's committed. They're committed to the Xbox division. I'm glad to see that. It's a pillar in the Microsoft division. I'm so happy that I feel like they actually have some support. You can see that you're not guessing anymore. And that's good. They got good leadership. Things are going in the right direction. They got the most powerful hardware. This Mixer app is really, really nice. I like it a lot. And people, I think, are just, I don't want to say people are afraid, but I think people are still trying to find some weaknesses within the Xbox. And obviously, the only weakness they have is first party. If they can get first party together, they got a lot of strengths. They will never have Japan. I repeat, they will never have Japan. And I think we have to get over that, obviously. But if they can get a few games here and there, that's all they need. I love the fact that I get a chance to play Monster Hunter coming up. I really do. I think that's huge in my opinion. And I love the fact that they still have the Final Fantasies and they still have a couple of RPGs coming as far as like Code Vein and Black Desert and stuff like that, even though Black Desert is a Korean game. So, that's exciting, and I'm really excited about that. And if Microsoft can continue to grab some of the higher quality games from the East, they're good. You don't need everyone. You don't need every piece of shovelware. You don't need every RPG, every Tales game, every, Persona game or whatever. You don't need every single one. It's just not going to happen. But if you get lucky enough to get one, then that's the most important thing. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Apologies. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much it in a nutshell with that in that particular segment. I think that if you're watching what Microsoft's doing, if you're reading up on what Microsoft's been doing, you can see them going up in a positive direction. Now, there's supposed to be some news coming out next week about some big thing that they want to announce when it comes to digital games. I don't know what it could be. There's only two things that I can think of. Okay, it's either going to have something to do with family share, like your family circle, something that they talked about for a very, very long time from when they first iterated the Xbox, where you can have a circle of people where you all share games, which I think would be mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I don't know how that would affect game sales overall. I don't know how that would affect game sales. Like if I bought, let's say for example, if I bought um Destiny and I have it in my circle, which is maybe like 5 people. Everybody in my circle can play it, but they can't play it at the same time. Only I can play with another friend at the same time because it's my game. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. That was the initial plan. So if someone bought the game, right, and I'm on their list, and they were playing Monster Hunter, I don't have Monster Hunter, but I can play the game. I can borrow that game. Now, if I'm playing the game because I'm playing it, I'm borrowing it, I can play it until I'm done with it. Basically, I'm like basically renting the game from the circle that I'm in. And then if he wants to play, we can play together co-op. I thought that was just absolutely amazing. But then I thought about how many people would not buy games. Because then it's just like now with game share. Like me and my boy, we game share. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get Dragon Ball Fighters. You get Monster Hunter. He's like, cool. I bought Dragon Ball Fighters. He picked up Monster Hunter. That's two sales that's a sale that both Bandai, because I'm not buying Monster Hunter now, and he's not buying Dragon Ball Fighters. So it's like, think about that. You add 3 more people on top of that. Could you imagine? Sales would probably drop. But if you have good DLC, if you have microtransactions, you might be able to supplement that with people who want to buy the DLC for those particular games. Now they don't have to spend $60 on that game, but they can buy the add-ons for that game that they can enjoy because they're playing the game off of somebody else's dime. I don't know. That's one idea. The only other idea I could think of that could be really that big is digital trade-ins. And I can tell you right now, if Microsoft does digital trade-ins, game over. Could you imagine? You know how many games I have? You know how many games I have, bro? Like, let's just say, for example, eliminate all of the free games they give you. Take them out. Get rid of all the free games that Microsoft gives you, right? Eliminate any game that's maybe like $5 or less that you purchase. You know, some indie game for $4.99, eliminate that. But any big title, AAA title, you know, any game over $30 is a trade-in. And let's just say they give you 10% for that. $6 for a $60 game. That's the value. $6, 10%. Maybe they may do less than that because it's digital. Again, there's truly no value in digital returns. There's no value because it's just code. You know, it's not a disc. It's not something physical that you'd have to worry about. So 10%, I think, is just absolutely generous. Anybody asking for more than 10% on a digital trade-in is reaching at best. Bucks. For every game you traded in it, people would trade in games like it's nobody's business. And you say, how does that benefit Microsoft when they're handing out all these credits? Well, it's credit. That's what it is. And now, in turn, you're going to turn around and buy more stuff from the Microsoft store. You've already spent your 60 on that game. You've already spent 60. Microsoft's already made their money from the store if you bought it from the store digitally, because they do get a cut because you're buying it from their store. So they get a cut from the developer. And the developer's already got his money. And then in turn, if you then got credit for your trade-in, you're just going to turn right around and buy more stuff out of the Microsoft store that's just going to make them even more money. That's the genius part about it. And everybody would do it. Imagine being the only console where you could do digital trade-ins. How insane would that be? Just monstrous for Microsoft. Imagine the amount of gamers out there that'd be like, yo, I'm going to buy an Xbox because you can trade in your digital games. You never have to leave home. Never, ever, unless you're just buying a console. And most people nowadays just buy their consoles online anyway. It's like Microsoft don't want you to move from in front of your TV, fam. They want you in front of that box. They want that box on 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, son. They don't want that thing never to turn off. You are their revenue stream. Hasn't anybody wondered how the hell Microsoft is making money and they ain't selling no goddamn exclusives? That every year, this company, the Xbox division, is profitable every year. Every year, bro. Every year they're profitable. They go up. In some instances, God honest truth, in some instances, they sold less hardware than they did the year before, and they're still profitable. Because people are sitting at home spending their money on Xbox Live and in the Windows Store. These people are not stupid. Now, again, two things I can think of. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that that is what Microsoft is going to be doing. That's the only two things I can think of digitally. Either the family thing where you share with everybody, or already have deals with gold. The only thing you could do is go lower and do some type of PlayStation flash sale where things are like $5 or $4 within like 24, 48 hours or something like that, 72 hours. But you're already doing deals with gold. So why do that? And deals with gold lasts, I think, every 2 weeks before it swaps with the new game for the free game. So why would you then do that? I just can't think of anything else. You already have a return policy on digital trade-ins. Like, if you really go through everything, what is it that Microsoft doesn't have already with their digital games? So I don't know. That's the only two things I can think of: either family share or digital trade-in. And I talked about digital trade-ins for a very long time. I swear to God, I should work for Microsoft. If you guys knew the conversations I had with these people, I feel like they've stolen all my ideas. It's insane. I talked with Dan Greenwald about Forza Horizon being in Japan because I love Japan at night. I think about those neon lights and drifting and how colorful it is. I could imagine the music in my head, the cars, the supercars from Japan. Dude, it would be crazy. That's what I said to him. I said it would be amazing if you were able to get like some, music from today, like some real hip hop. I know they got the indie thing going on and stuff like that. Everybody might not like hip hop, whatever. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I would love to blast something that I really, really like, even some old school 90s rap, you know what I'm saying, or some really cool rock. That'll work too. You throw that in there, and you got an amazing game in Japan. The mountains, the snow, the city streets, the lights. Imagine a Horizon Festival in Japan. Oh my God, it'd be bananas. Imagine driving and you're on the street and you like hook a drift around a Gundam. Imagine they put like, like a Gundam in the middle of the game. How dope would that be? How dope would that be? Joe in Okinawa. Dude, it would be amazing. It would be absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. Then I talked about, I had the conversation with Phil Spencer back in 2014 and said they need to figure out a way to make 360 backwards compatible. Swear to you, I had this conversation with him before this thing even came up. Boom, 360 backwards compatible. I literally had a conversation with Mike Cabrera like a year after that and talked about bringing Xbox, OG Xbox backwards compatible. Boom, it pops up. I got evidence. Find those interviews. It's there. Now you're talking about bringing back Perfect Dark? I brought back Perfect Dark, goddammit. I had that conversation with Ken Love about making that game third party, and Perfect Dark is on his way back. Y'all need to be thanking me. I am Microsoft. I'm joking. But still, there's a lot of things that I had conversations with people about, and suddenly they just popped out of the blue. And I had a conversation with them about digital trade-ins. So I don't know how you do it, but if you can get it done, whoever does digital tradings first wins. Because you get a lot of people that's going to really start crossing over to that platform because they're getting their money back for the crap that they don't play no more. You know how many games I got that I don't play? I got the first Tomb Raider digitally. I don't play that game. There's games that I have I will never play again. I got Madden. Somehow I bought Madden like a dumbass. I would never buy a sports game digitally. And somehow I bought Madden for like $5 at the end of the football season. It was like a crazy sale. It was like Madden 17 was like $5.99, and I picked it up just because I didn't pick it up. I don't play that game, bro. I will never play that game again. I do not go backwards on old games or old rosters. I will trade that game in a heartbeat for 50 cents. They give me 50 cents, I will trade that game in, bro. You don't think other people won't? All the bad games we bought, games we regret, people be trading games in left and right, bro. So listen, just saying. Digital trade-ins on the way. We'll see. But anyway, man, listen, that's it. I'm going to go ahead with you guys again. If you haven't heard about what my plans are going forward, I am not leaving Tick, first of all. We got a lot of things happening. We brought in a lot of new recruits. We have a new podcast that we've locked them up, but we haven't figured out how to work out when we're going to release their content and where we're going to release their content. It's a very unique podcast, the Phoenix Project podcast. So, we still in talks on how to figure out how to release that content and where to release it and try to get these guys on the same page as us when it comes to how we kind of talk about things and address things and the things that we stay away from. And the reason why people love the Tick Network, we don't really talk about religion. We don't talk about politics. We stay away from those race relation things, even though those things are very important in life. Those things are things that you should talk about. Our show and our particular channel is all about getting you away from those things, talking about games, talking about the industry, talking about the latest news. That's what we want to talk about. We want to get you away from that. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a Christian, a Muslim, it doesn't matter. As long as you play games, you have a home here at TIC. And we find that really important. So, we have to address a few things there. We're revamping the channel. I want to revamp the channel because I want to get people to focus on the network podcast that we have. So I'm going to be moving some things around, deleting a few things here and there, stuff that's not really relevant today in what we're doing. More focus on Tick Podcast, more focus on Iron Lords, Multiverse, 2XP, those type of things. Team content. I would like to put up some video gameplays from some of the teammates that we're going to be doing. We're focusing the website on a lot of video content because that's the direction that gaming is going. You see a lot of this video content coming out, video reviews and stuff like that. So we're going to be doing a lot of that content too, let's plays and streams. On Mixer, we have some things that we're working out. We're going to be doing Classy Gamer Girls with Mama Sita is coming over to the TIC Mixer. And we're going to be working with her and doing some things on sort of like a ladies' night type of thing for all the women gamers out there. We think that's really awesome and real special. And she's going to be working, trying to do interviews as well as meet some women in the industry and get them to come on and do these things live across Mixer. And then we'll try to download those shows or record those shows and upload them to Tick if you don't see them live. Another thing that we plan to do is Latino and Latin gaming nights. With my man Juan, that's another thing that we're going to be doing on Mixer, where everything's in Spanish. Working with Juan, who runs our TICGN network, Eternal Shaddai. If you don't know, that's his name. He runs our TICGN Twitter handle. He's going to be doing Latin Gaming Nights for us. We haven't decided on a day, but we want to try to reach these audiences, man. We want to be able to expand and grow. We want to be able to reach these audiences, the women gamers out there that may not get the attention and the respect that they deserve because they have a big impact on gaming. We want to bring the Latin brothers and sisters out there into TIC as well, and have these guys join us in what we do and what we talk about. And we feel that's very important. What about White Gaming Night? Hey, White Gaming Night is every night here at Tick, bro. Son. So I don't even know why you asked that question. White Gaming Night is every night, and so is Black Gaming Night. That's just standard. Okay, we're making a bigger effort to reach out to those who may feel underrepresented and stuff like that. Also, another thing that we're trying to do, as well as all of that, is I am doing a little focus on my own channel, the Last Son Network, which I'll be building soon. Some of the things that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build a PC. Implement a green screen. I'll have 2 segments, one where I kind of do movie and TV reviews and give you my opinions over like a little 5-minute, video. And then I'll also be doing anime content, top 5 animes to watch, my opinions on the hottest shows, and that's just like little things that I'll do once a week. And then of course I'll have a regular show like Super Podshots a little bit, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do all of this stuff live. At least the podcast, I'm going to be doing that live. So I have the green screen behind me. You'll be able to see me. I'll try to interact as much as I can, put different images up, different videos, while I'm doing that. If I can't do it that way, then I'll try to pre-record shows and have these little things up or whatever. I just want that content and that channel to be super interactive. I know it's hard sometimes to sit here on YouTube and just listen to somebody talk. So I want to be able to present something that's a little bit, more interactive. You guys see me, you see what I'm talking about. You can see my facial expressions. You can, where I'm coming from when I'm saying the things that I'm saying. And then at the same time, you get other content with movies and TVs and anime and all the things I love to talk about, because I'm really big into sci-fi, fantasy, anime, and all that stuff like that. I'm writing novels, all types of stuff. So that's who I am in a nutshell. So that's going to be it for Super Podshots. Super Podshots, I think, has been an amazing ride for me. Very grateful for all the support out there. Again, I'll be on Tick Podcast every night. Not every night. I'm sorry. Every Saturday night, I'll be on Tick Podcast with B Money and Anchorman. We're continuing to reach out to guys to get them on a show, and developers. We're going to make a reconcerted effort to do that. Obviously, we grew a bit big last year, and I was kind of overextended. So I'm definitely trying to change that for this year and get back to what we used to do. And then on Tick Podcast, on the Last Son Network, if you hop onto that channel, you get all those goodies and goodness of the things that I'm trying to create and do over there, as well as the shows and interviews that I do. If I'm able to get one-on-ones, it'll be like Kal-El versus. That's something I plan to do. Kal-El versus Aaron Greenberg, Kal-El versus, Phil Spencer or whatever. I haven't figured out what I'm going to name the podcast yet. Some people suggested I should name it the Zodcast, which I found kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. The Zodcast and everything. Maybe I should make it, the movie review thing called the Zodcast. It's all Zod's fault. Every bad movie is Zod's fault. Blame Zod for it. Hopefully you guys enjoy what we're bringing to Tick, and you guys enjoy all the new content that we're trying to bring. Make sure you support TICGN.com. And once again, thank you all for supporting Super Podshots. It's been a great ride. I really enjoyed myself and my time here to support it. Again, this is the final episode of Super Podshots as I move on to bigger and better endeavors with the Last Son Network, because your boy Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox, wants to be bigger and better for the fans out there that love and support me and the Tick Network. So that's it, man. Again, it's gonna be pretty cool, man. I hope you guys enjoy all the stuff that we got coming out and that you continue to support us going forward. We're just trying to be a better media space for you guys compared to all the noise and all the nonsense that's out there. So again, thanks for the support. Thanks for stopping out. I'm your host, Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox, and I'm off this planet. Peace. All right. So listen, I'll answer a few questions. I know it's kind of late. If guys have any questions for me, I'll go ahead and answer a few questions before I head on out. I want to thank everybody for stopping out. shout out to Cog. Appreciate you stopping out, man. Iron Lord Podcast. Macavall. Appreciate you. The Game Filter. Thank you. Appreciate you as well. Foul. Thank you for stopping out. TF God, as always, man. Appreciate you for stopping out. Louis Sharp, my brother. Thank you for stopping out as well. I greatly appreciate that. Really appreciate the support, man. Mike M, thank you for stopping out, brother. I appreciate it. Fastback as well. Thank you for stopping out. Leonardo S, man. Hey, thank you for stopping out, bro. It's been a minute since I've seen you, but I appreciate your support. Vazel Creek, thank you for stopping out. Alex PX, thank you for stopping out. Double MM70, thank you for stopping out. Greatly appreciate your support, man. I'm really grateful for everybody. Really am. I can't say it enough. I don't think people understand how hard it is to do a podcast. It seems easy, but when you have to constantly think and constantly talk and not have dead air, worry about your background noise, get your family settled, because you might not have that particular space you need to deliver a good show or deliver something informative to the fans, man, it can be a bit frustrating sometimes. You might not always put out the best sounding show, but you try to do your best to put out good quality content that people appreciate. If you're here with me and you're rocking with me, you haven't left, thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, Mac. I appreciate it. Listen, man, I've been working on this novel for 10 years, maybe more than that. I think I started 2002, right? Yeah, 2002. So actually, I'm bugging. 16 years I've been working on this book off and on. And I've literally created my own universe. Like, seriously, I've created my own universe, my own timelines, stories, all that. And I'm working really hard. I'm scared, though, because I'm scared because I want to create something. I know people will love it just because I know my mind. I know the people that like the type of content that I like will love it. But I'm scared because I want to do something like a Kickstarter to get the support to self-publish. You're not kind of be ripped off or my ideas taken or whatever and stuff like that. Or if I can't pitch it, but I want to be able to put out a good product. And I'm kind of nervous about doing it, but I'm working extra hard to try to get it right. So I think that's one of the things that I've been trying to do in the back of my head. And I've been working on this project for a very long time. But I watch a ton of anime, man. I really do. I grew up as a kid on a lot of sci-fi from the 80s. I was born in 81. I turned 37 yesterday. What's today? Yeah, yesterday. I turned 37 yesterday. So I grew up on Kung Fu flicks. It used to come on Fox. I'm from New York, so it used to come on Fox back in the day. And I would watch all these Kung Fu flicks. And then my uncle was a big monster sci-fi guy, and Kung Fu guy. So he would have these VHS tapes, and every time a Kung Fu flick would come on or something hot would come on, he would record it, because obviously we didn't have DVR back in the day. It didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting up here watching, like, he used to have like a Rolodex of tapes. Like, you would pull this drawer out and nothing is in there but tapes labeled with like 4 or 5 movies on it. And I'm watching stuff like, Mad Monkey Kung Fu and the 5 Deadly Venoms and the Man with the Golden Arm and the Guillotine. And dude, I'm just watching all these dope Kung Fu flicks from back in the day. Killer Priest, 36 Chambers, Return of the Master Killer, like watching all these dope Kung Fu flicks, man, and just loving it. And then I get introduced to Aliens and Predator and the Terminator. And I'm just like blown away by these technological advances of the 80s. And I'm hooked, Conan. I'm hooked. I'm in it. Like, I'm done. I'm in it. Like, it's over. Like, my life is over. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm into He-Man and Transformers and Thundercats. And my mind is growing in this way where it's like, all I see is heroes and warriors and fighters. And it's amazing to me as this kid that's growing up in these tough neighborhoods where it's real scary and it's dark. And 80s was terrible, and in the hood. It was terrible. The crack epidemic was happening. You know, a lot of bad things happened in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn on Blake Avenue and out there in Rockaway and Brownsville. And before moving down to Fort Greene, lived over on Willoughby Street. And then I moved out to Queens right when I was a teenager, out to the suburbs on the border of Long Island and Queens and Rosedale, right around Laurelton and Springfield Gardens. I went to Springfield High School, stuff like that. So, you know, man, I had a lot of experiences in these things. And as I grew, I just got more and more in depth into all of these things. And I remember back in like 1991, waking up at 6 a.m. and watching my first anime, which I think was actually Dragon Ball. It was a Dragon Ball episode. And then I remember seeing something, Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors used to come on. And then after Ronin Warriors, Sailor Moon would come on. And that was like 1990, 1991 or something like that. And I was just blown away by it. Like, holy crap, this is like nothing I've ever seen before. You know what I'm saying? And from there, man, I just wanted to watch more and more anime. But back then, it was so hard to get it, especially as a kid. 1991, I was like 11, 10, 12 years old, something like that. So long time ago, you know, flash forward, I'm like 15, 16. Now I'm going to Suncoast. I'm buying, you know, anime, Ninja Scroll and X. Shadow, what is it called? Shadow Fist or Shadow Warrior, something like that. Shadow Boxing. I can't remember what it was called. It's really dope anime. And I'm buying these things on VHS tapes, you know. And then this is when Dragon Ball Z got real popular. In the English versions would release. This is like probably like 2000, like 19. No, I'm right. Like 2000, 2001, around that time. That GameStop, I was probably like 19 or 20, and I would then go to Suncoast and buy Dragon Ball Z tapes, and they would have like the tape, you would see like a piece of art, and if you got the whole collection and put them in a box, it would make an entire piece of artwork. You would see like Shinron flying and Goku holding a 4-star Dragon Ball, Vegeta on one side with Nappa. You know, it was really cool. And I thought that was amazing and everything like that. And I just had a bunch of anime films. I bought every bootleg Dragon Ball movie you could think of. I was like Dragon Ball out, bro. To the point that I even knew Goku's address. That's how deep I was in Dragon Ball Z back in the day. You know, it just grew on me. Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Aeon Flux. I mean, that's more American. But still, you know, that it kind of got me into those films. And I even, you know, and then in American cartoons like Superman, Adventures of Superman and Adventures of Batman, not Dark, but Adventures of Batman, I think it was called. And what else did they have? I'm missing something. Something that I really like. Oh, Spawn used to come on HBO. And that was really cool. And I love Spawn when it used to come on HBO. So, you know, man, I just look at that history of stuff that I was always into. And you look at today with these movies and the technologically advances that we've made when it comes to film and technology and the comics and how far we've come. The anime has gotten so good. I think I've watched so much anime that I can't even remember what I've watched. I literally have to go through like a library of anime just to see, oh, I've seen that. Oh, I've watched that. I mean, at one point, I watched every piece of anime on Hulu before Hulu lost all this anime. I think I've watched everything on Crunchyroll. That's a lot of anime, bro. That's a lot of anime to absorb. To the point that I even moved on from anime to Korean dramas, watching international TV and, you know, international film. And I love international film too. Like, at least I love the Asian film, you know, martial art epics and martial art, you know, crime movies and stuff like that. Like Riot. I love Riot. Riot was so epic. You know, anything with Donnie Yen or you know, some of the new guys out there, stuff like that. So really cool, man. Just a lot of things that I grew up watching that I love and adore. And that's what made me today. And it's hard for me to talk about those things on network because there's so many people out there that just want to hear about gaming, or people that just love Xbox and only care about Xbox. You get a lot of people who don't like Japanese stuff because of PlayStation and stuff like that. And I don't really have a bias towards that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I could talk about that here on the channel the way I want to and explore those things. I talk about it with people all the time, but I know there's a lot of people out there that love what I love, and I would love to talk about it. I watch videos of people talking about it, and I just think it's so cool that they get a chance to talk about it. And I feel like left out. Like I feel so left out. So that's why I'm making The Last Son, man. You know, it's pretty dope. I think it's going to be really great and stuff like that. I'm a weird type of guy, man, but I think it's made me into who I am and why I love what I love and the games that I love and stuff like that. So listen, if you got any questions, man, go ahead and ask them. If I can answer them, I'll do my best. If it's about what I'm going to be doing on the new network, the Last Son Network, and what I'm going to be doing on those shows, or what I'm going to be type of content I'm going to be putting out, who my next guest is going to be, or who I'm going to be reaching out to. Any questions about Xbox, go ahead. I'll stay on until 12. So we got about 13 minutes to ask these questions, and then I'm heading out. Hey, what's up, Hulk 1930? Thank you for stopping out, brother. I appreciate the support, man. I really, really do. Right. Let me see. Cal versus the gaming industry. Yeah, that'd be dope. Filter said he's a 38-year-old new old Jersey musician gamer, mofo. I hear that, bro. That's what's up, man. That is what is up, bro. TF God asks, do you think Play Anywhere was Xbox's soft exit from the console game? With Xbox One X being the first in line of box-like consoles that is the future, will work 100% crossplay with PC. I don't think it'll ever work 100% crossplay with PC for the simple fact that it would have to work with Steam. Steam is literally the bottom line platform for PC. I don't think it will ever be Windows 10 unless Microsoft get the same games that Steam gets and literally build their platform as an open platform like Steam is. They'll never do it. And in that instance, you only get crossplay with Xbox games. And I think right now it's a smart thing to do. You don't want to push everybody to not buy your console. You got to have something that still makes the console valuable. It's bad enough we pay for live and people on PC don't. But with that, you get certain benefits. They get free online and they get they get free online basically. They just play on live or whatever and they get the game. Meanwhile, you get discounts on games, you get free games, you get discounts on some movies, you get access to things early, especially if you're in beta. Then you have a bunch of apps like the EA access, even though they have Origin access, but still things here and there. You get free to play days. A lot of things that come with Xbox Live. I think that people don't truly get game preview. You get games early that's still in production, even though maybe they might not work. They eventually get patched pretty quickly and normally work pretty quickly. Like PUBG has gotten patched a lot over the last couple of weeks, and it's actually starting to play a little bit up to snuff. I'm not going to say it's there yet. I'm sure it has a long way to go, but it's still up there. Microsoft is not exiting. Microsoft will never go fully PC. Their money is not in PC. Their money is in Xbox Live. And you need people to buy into Xbox Live. PC gamers will never buy into Xbox Live. Never. So you need the Xbox fan base for the console that's going to constantly buy Xbox Live yearly or monthly to continue to buy that. So you can constantly have a revenue stream coming in, people buying Game Pass to play the games. That's not on PC yet. You know what I'm saying? And then all the microtransactions, all the transactions you got coming out of your store. It's just a different revenue stream for them. And I don't think they'll ever get that with PC because PC is an open platform and Xbox is kind of closed off in a way. Part of an ecosystem with Xbox. You just get benefits because of Windows 10 and you're able to maybe play games with some friends that have a Halo or Gears if they bought it on PC. They don't have an Xbox. It benefits Microsoft either way. Xbox because they're going to build the game for PC first. So you're going to get the best quality game you can get as they scale down from PC to Xbox One X and then Xbox One S. So that's good. And then another instance, you're able to play with the people who maybe don't want to invest in the Xbox because they've only been on PC. So I don't think, Microsoft, I don't think is bowing out of the race. I knew this a year ago. They were already working on the next Xbox. Phil told me that last year. They're already working and looking at their next Xbox. So they're not getting out of the race. This is what they're going to be doing going forward. They're not going to do iterative consoles. I think they did it this generation because they know that the consoles that they produced was trash to start. Technology jumped too fast for them, and they kind of got left behind, so they had to put out new hardware. Within about 3 years, by the time the next platform comes out, these consoles will kind of be a little bit obsolete, not to the point to where you couldn't play high quality titles on them, but the technology would be a little bit left behind as new technology starts to come out. And then by that time, you'll probably have last year's top of the line PC or GPU in your platform on the next Xbox. The thing Microsoft needs to do is get a very powerful CPU into their next platform. They cannot have the type of CPU they have because they already know 60 frames per second is super important. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft needs to push that 60 frames per second going forward on their next platform. Cal ain't in his 30s. I wish I wasn't. Me and my sister were born 11 years apart. I was born in 81. She was born in 92. She just turned 26. She talking about she getting close to 30. I'm like, I wish I was close to 30. But again, I don't mind it, man. I don't mind getting older. Honestly, I actually like it. I feel so much more mature, so much more wiser than I was, even though I'm a kid at heart and I love games and anime and all that stuff like that. Like when I talk to my son, I feel like a father. That's a crazy experience, especially when my daughter's around. I really feel like a father. Like I have a daughter and I play with her. She gives me her little phone. I'm like, who's this? Don't call my daughter. You get rid of this number, boy. My daughter's not ready for boyfriends, one of those type of things. I'm sitting up there, practicing. So when she gets to high school or, middle school, I can scare these little kids off and stuff. It's funny, but it's fun. It's fun. I appreciate your support in the book, man. I would definitely look at maybe doing a Patreon or some type of I don't know, donation thing and stuff like that. It's tough because again, I'm not the best writer in the world or whatever, and it does cost to self-publish. And I would love for it to be published, be a #1 seller, and maybe a movie happen. This is my dream. That's my dream. Like something that I created becomes a movie and a movie franchise. I would be so ecstatic if that ever happened in my life. That's probably like my ultimate goal in life, is to be a writer either for a game company or, write a script for movies, because I'm that creative mentally. Like I think about this stuff all the time. The stories I have in my head, out of control, out of freaking control. Like it's nuts. I would love to talk about it, but then we'll be here to 2 a.m. So we definitely don't want to do that. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes. Louis Shark says my next interview gonna be with Matt Boudet. I'm definitely gonna reach out to him. I'm gonna reach out to him, see if I can hit up Phil and see if he can put in a good word for me, and I can get Matt Boudet on the show. That would be really cool if we were able to get him on before somebody else. Am I getting DBZ Fighters? Absolutely. I already have it pre-ordered and downloaded. I'm thinking about returning it though because that beta was devastating. I literally got kicked out of lobbies left and right. I think I fought like 2 people. In both instances, I got my ass whooped. Somebody had Android 18, bro, and put in work. I couldn't even fight. Every time they would hit me with a combo and juggle me, they would just like hit that burst and catch me in the same combo multiple times up against the wall until they missed and I fell and I was able to get out of it. And then they called me with a special, and here comes Android 17 sliding down from the sky with a 56, like a 56 hit projectile attack. Super. I'm just sitting here like, dude, this is like ridiculous. I can't even like get a combo in, bro. And like, it took me so long to find the actual training area because the training area is actually to the left of the screen, but it was going down. So I never saw it. I would always come in and go straight to where the arena fighting is, where everybody was gathered. I didn't even know training area was in there till like later. And then all of a sudden, everything just stopped working. I mean, it really wasn't working to begin with. It was so hard to find a match, but you really couldn't find a match after the first day. Matches were done, kicked out of lobbies. I was just disappointed. I'm like, game is great, but I'm scared to pick it up. First day, if like something was to happen, I try to play a game and it's the same way, I would be so pissed off, bro. I'd be hot. Let me see. TF God says, I think they're trying to make live stream competitor with hardware itself being irrelevant. You can play Microsoft games on whatever you want. Yeah, well, you can play Microsoft games on Microsoft hardware. I don't think they'll ever allow you to play on a different platform unless it's a Microsoft OS. So, like, if it was a Samsung phone, it would have to be like Windows. You wouldn't be able to play like Halo or like a Gears game on like an Apple tablet. Like, that's not gonna happen, bro. Like, that's never gonna happen. You'll never get Halo on a Mac. Like, that's not gonna happen. So I wouldn't say it's all devices. Surface, Windows Phone, Xboxes, PCs, because of Windows. Yeah, you'll be able to access games like that. For Microsoft, it's all about making money. Whatever they can do to solidify the foundation of their platform, yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Sony's trying to do it. They're just doing it in a sneakily way. They're gonna put all their games 2 years later on that PlayStation Pass crap, PlayStation Now, and then let you stream it on a PC. And if you got the bandwidth for it, you'll probably get a high quality stream. I mean, bandwidth is going up left and right. Verizon's giving like 900 megabytes per second now, so you can never say never about not getting 4K stream. I tell you that much. Wouldn't be surprised. Um, Hulk says, "Do you got any tea for E3 Xbox coming with some heat?" Not really. Other than what we've already heard about the rumors about Fable, um, Forza Horizon 4 possibly being in Japan, um, the new Perfect Dark coalition is working in partnership with somebody on some type of new IP. Possibly it could be Perfect Dark. Um, I've heard about a few other exclusives that Microsoft has up their sleeve that they're working on that they may show off at E3. Um, I don't have anything mind blowing yet. Not yet. I'll keep my ear to the street though, and hopefully something will pop up and I'll hear something and I can drop that line for you guys. Louis Shark says digital trading could be the announcement because a few years back, Microsoft had a digital trading server. They absolutely did. I remember that. They did. The Mac of all tens. Yup, 84, baby. 80s, baby, all day. Yo, I don't care what nobody say, man. I still think the 80s had the best cartoons. Me and Anchorman got into an argument about that. Though the 90s, early 90s had some amazing cartoons when I really thought about it, because I forgot about like Superman Avengers of Superman and Batman and all that stuff like that. And then they had like SWAT cats, and they also had kind of like the tail end of like the Disney block with like Darkwing Duck and Gizmo Duck and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and DuckTales. And then I think Transformers might have been off by then. I think Transformers had converted to Beast Wars. Thundercats was off by then. Voltron was off by then. They had Power Rangers at that time. I'm trying to think Saturday morning cartoons. Man, I can't even remember. Animaniacs was out around that time, which was nuts. I can go on. I don't even want to think about it. Damn, I can't wait to start this other network, bro. This type of stuff that I would love to talk about. But yeah, man, that's pretty dope. That's pretty cool. File says talk about your book. I will definitely try to. I'll set up a night where I'll talk about my book and give a rundown of some of the ideas that I have about these two kids that grow up to become demigods and have to fight the god of the universe. How that intertwines with a guy who becomes a warrior on a dystopian Earth and leads to another world where three women have to fight a alien hell bent on destroying an entire race. That's crazy. It's a crazy sequence of events and a crazy sequence of stories. It's really deep in depth. It's really dope. I would love to talk about it, man. I'll have to choose another date for it. But listen, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Once again, I greatly appreciate you guys. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night for another episode of Tick Podcast. We get a chance to talk about Xbox, revisit what I talked about today with Fable, with Anchorman, and B Money. And then, of course, Iron Lords on Sunday and 2XP and Multiverse during the week, Monday through Thursday. In February, I'll be launching a new network channel sometime in February, about mid-February. Hopefully, all my stuff will be done by then. And I think I'm going to start uploading on that channel and get you guys who want to subscribe to subscribe. So again, I'm your host, Kara S. Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox. And this is the final episode of Super Podshots. Thank you once again. I humbly thank you all for always supporting. Peace.